In His Shadow by meniekeime. Chapter 6. A Very Malfoy Christmas. Draco Malfoy's point of view. Earlier that day. I finally came home today, ready to meet my father after 3 months. He would not pick me up from the train station. I was old enough to travel home alone. But first, I had to make a stop at a certain Omega's house, because of me not being able to apparate just yet, I had to take a train home afterwards, and walk a bit. But I was never the person to complain a lot about such things. When I opened my door home, I was greeted in the entrance hall, full of fake snow. Everywhere, candy canes were hanging together, mistletoe and stockings. Toppy, our house elf, loved Christmas, so she outdid herself each year during the season. It was already time for dinner when I arrived, so I stepped into the dining hall, seeing our meal prepared already. "Draco!" I heard my father come running to me, hugging me afterwards. My mother died while giving birth to me, so father tried his best to be a good father and mother for me. He was a rather affectionate person. When he wasn't working, he could still be a caring father. But he rejected the traditional roles that were set in this country. In every other damn country in this world, alphas had to court their mate to prove that they could care for them, not the other way around. "Sit down, eat, you must be hungry." Father made me sit down and loaded food onto my plate, while Willie, our other house elf, brought us our drinks. Now, son, is Hogwarts still as terrible as before? I nodded my head, too focused on my turkey. "And are you so sure that there's no Omega that—" I had kept my intentions with Harry a secret until now. I wanted to do this on my own without my father interfering, but I had to tell him sometime, so why not get it over with when he's in a good mood? "Father, I have found one." He started clapping out of nowhere, putting down his silverware. "Hallelujah! There is hope for grandchildren!" "Now tell me all about him. Is it cute? How tall is he? How old is he? What is his name?" I was overwhelmed by questions. Wait a minute. "Who told you he was a male?" I asked, looking at my father. "Come on, Draco Lucius Malfoy. You are as gay as the night is dark. I am your father. I know better than yourself. I present you as Lucius Albrecht Malfoy at home." "Yes, he is cute. He is tiny, 16, and his name is Harry." "Oh, little Harry, you're Cuddy, right? Wasn't he a Potter?" Father went on with his questions. "Not anymore. He was adopted by the Blacks, and yes, I already visited him and talked with his parents, and they gave me the okay. I answered his question before he was able to ask it." "Then it's good. Come and eat now, before the food gets cold." I spent the next 5 days figuring out the best strategy to court Harry. I had to do it all over distance, though there was more sending presents. But I knew Harry needed assurance and a feeling of safety, so I needed to give him that too. So my plan came together. First of all, I sent Harry one of my sweaters, telling him to send it back to me when it became dirty, so I could wash it and wear it again. He liked to be engulfed in my scent, making my inner alpha happy. He had told me once that his heat only came every 3 or 4 months, something rather unusual. Normally they were every month. But that didn't stop me from courting him. I loved my little Harry, and his fertility wouldn't change a thing. Hell, if he would have been infertile, I would have still courted him. Sadly, I had to go back to school and be surrounded by my nemesis, Henry Potter. He and his 2 friends were getting on my last nerve, always insulting others, being disrespectful, and telling lies. He even lied about his younger brother, saying he didn't go to school and that Harry wasn't related to him. And even if he was, it wouldn't change that he hated him because he was an Omega and dirtying the family's name. Idiots. And now that the Dark Lord was getting stronger, Dumbledore put even more restrictions to the Omegas, forcing them to bond with an Alpha at the beginning of their 7th year, and he forbid all of them to leave the school. They weren't even allowed to watch Quidditch or go outside in any way. Also, there was a no-touching rules for Omegas had been enforced now. No Omega was to touch another, even for safety, because it was inappropriate. But all rules for us alphas were loosened. I was just waiting until rape would be okay. I mean, Henry and his squad were running around the school, hitting and touching omegas without their consent. Disgusting creatures. I was happy that Harry wasn't going to school anymore, or I would have him transferred to my room already. His friend Neville was one of the victims of Henry, or rather, Ronald Weasley, his best friend. They made fun of him for being the first Omega in his family, and for being scared of alphas. I was sure that I would be scared of us too if I had to smell a dominating, aggressive smell each time one of us came near me. He reminded me of Harry, such a light, passive smell, full of innocence. How I wanted to protect him from the world, keep him for myself, but I couldn't, not yet. I needed to make him fall for me, so deep that neither of us could fall out of love. End of chapter 6.